Greetings, Dweeble. I just want to talk briefly about the nature of pulling exercises. And pulling exercises, basically, another way to think of it is your back and your biceps as you move. So, before I get to actually any sort of pulling exercises like rows or pull-ups or anything along those lines, the first thing that I tend to have my people do is I tend to check their shoulder mobility. And shoulder mobility will be the key to the quality of all your pulling movements. So, with that in mind, I just have my people grab a pair of dumbbells. The weight doesn't really matter. Arms out at the sides, and then I have them do shrugs, but there's a very particular way that I have them do shrugs. So, from this perspective, with the spine upright, what I have them do is I have them move their shoulders forward as far as they can, up as high as they can, back as far as they can, and then down. Forward, up, back, down. Now each direction basically is a corner of a rhomboid, and I want each direction to be as extreme as possible. Particularly, I want the person to understand the difference between how the shoulders feel when they're elevated versus how they feel when they're retracted. So most people, when I ask them to retract their shoulder blades, will think that elevation is retraction. So I like to have them do this motion first, just to gauge an idea of how mobility of the shoulder is. And I also always have them go in this forward, up, back, down sequence, because as they do this, it reminds them to reset their spine aligned with gravity. If I were to have them do it the other way, back, up, forward, down, that tends to have people hunch over more and emphasize that curvature in the upper back, or that kyphosis. So I try and always have people move in the opposite way, because most people are very used to having their shoulders forward and down, and already that kyphotic pattern in the upper spine is apparent. So this is just one of the ways to remind them to set up and back. So once I see that, then what I do is I test them on a seated row. And so for a seated row, the key to a seated row, and really all back or pulling movements, is the ability to retract the scapula before you move the arms. Because if your body does not have the understanding of retraction of the scapula, then you won't be able to recruit the muscles of the back from the very beginning. What ends up happening is that the biceps will bear the brunt of the work until the very end, when you are able to retract the scapula and then have some of the back involved. So when I start them out, and this is something that I encourage everybody to experiment with, I'm not so much concerned with the weight in the beginning. I'm concerned with the sequence of the motion. So I have them deconstruct the actual rowing movement. So from this position, spine is upright, belly's tight, head is up. I don't want them trying to pull with their neck or dip down forward. I have them deconstruct the row into two parts. The first part is the retraction of your scapula, or the shoulder blades. And again, it's retraction, not elevation. But I've found that most people think that in this position, elevation is retraction. So you have to make a difference between the two. So it's retraction first, and then I have them imagine that they're pulling with their elbows to the side. So retract, and then elbows. In the beginning, again, I have them deconstruct the movement so that this is two separate movements. The reason why I want it to be two separate movements is because I want these separate neural patterns to get established in their bodies. Eventually, your body is going to blend this together. But if you try and blend it together from the very beginning, chances are it'll be all bicep, all bicep, all bicep, and then a little bit of scapular retraction at the end. So again, it's the motor pattern that I find important here. But the quality of all back exercises is determined by your ability to retract the scapula, retract the shoulder blades before arm movement. Because otherwise, again, you'll feel a qualitative difference if you try doing a row without scapular retraction. And this is true regardless of direction of the pull. So then, from a horizontal plane, if I shift it 90 degrees to a vertical plane, it would go the same way. Again, in the beginning, I'm not so much concerned with the weight. The weight is incidental. So, retract the scapula, back and down, and then elbows to the side. Retract and pull. Again, as they're doing this, I want the spine tight, shoulders up. I don't want them leaning back as they do this because I want the latissimus dorsi to be recruited down and back. And that, again, regardless of direction, so long as you can retract the scapula before you move the arm, the back is involved in the motion from the very beginning. And that's all